everyone! I'm glad you decided to join me for some math today. Grade 5s, buckle up because you have quite a long video today. And grade 4s, you may even want to do yours in pieces because there's a lot of content today. So get yourself settled. Remember that if you need to take a break, you can take a break. You might want to do this one in 2 pieces today because it's a little bit more math because we're only doing math every other day. Okay, so I hope that this video helps you. I noticed when I was making these videos, there's a lot of things in there that are you might need some help with, and that's okay because that's why I'm here. So try these videos. If you're still confused, send me a message. I hope it makes sense. And remember, we're going to keep working on the things that are in these worksheets. We're going to build on these concepts. We're going to keep working on them until they make sense to you, okay? So without any further chatting from your teacher, grab your math book, your worksheet, or if you're working from a screen, whatever way you're working on your math today, and let's get started. All right, grade 5, let's get started with our work today. So grade 5s, today we're doing Monday and Tuesday of our daily math. I know that it is Wednesday, so don't get confused. It's okay. We're going to work through this together. I do really like this daily math program. And just like at school when we do it, we don't always do it on the specific day. So that's all. I just like using it because it covers so many concepts in our curriculum. Okay, so what is the rule for the following pattern? So looking at this pattern, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, and 44. So every time you go up in the pattern, it is increasing, it's getting better, bigger. It's increasing. And each time it increases, it's increasing by 4. Okay, that's all it's doing. Number 2, write the first 3 numbers for this pattern rule. Start at 20 and add 13. So we're going to start at 20. Okay, and then you're going to add 13. And we're only doing 3 numbers, so it's not really hard. So 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 3 more is 33. 33 plus 10 is 43, plus 3 more is 46. Just for fun, let's do another one. 46 plus 10 is 56, plus 3 more is 59. Okay, one more. I love patterns. 59 plus 10 is 69, plus 3 more than that, 59, 60, 61, 62. That's all we're doing. I noticed about this one, some things I notice. This is an even, odd, even, odd, even. So every other number in this pattern is even. And you can think a little bit about why that is. Why is the number 13 creating a pattern like that? Okay, extending the pattern, 225, 220, 214, 207. Now this one is a tricky pattern. Pause the video and think about what it could be. All right, have you figured this one out? I hope you paused the video and thought about it. But this one it's a decreasing pattern. It's a shrinking pattern. So it's shrinking slash decreasing. This is a slash. And each time it decreases or shrinks, it's going down by a different number. So here you subtract 5. Okay, here you subtract 6. Here you subtract 7. So what's going to happen next? You're right, you're going to subtract 8. So 207 subtract 8 is 199. 199, you're going to subtract 9 because each time you subtract 1 more. I'm going to subtract 9 from here and I would get 190. All right, so now, okay, so to figure this one out, you're going to look at it and you're going to look at these. Okay, I know every second. So the 30th. Okay, so the third one is a triangle. Let's see if that continues. And then 3 more, okay. 3, 4, and the 6th one, sorry about this, I put that in the, I was distracted and not paying attention, I put it in the wrong place. The next one here, the 6th one, is a triangle. So we know that every third element is a triangle, right? And then we just have to think of our groups of 3. Okay, 30 is the same as 3 times 10. Okay, it's groups of 3. So every third one is a triangle. The 30th one will be a triangle. Okay, the number 30 will be a triangle. And we know that because every third shape is a triangle. And we know that we have 30 shapes. Every third shape is going to be a triangle. We can safely predict that that one will be a triangle. Okay, now our next one, it's asking us 200 subtract 56 is x. Okay, and all you're doing is to figure out x is you're figuring out 200 subtract 56. Okay, so 200 subtract 56 is x. So I want you to pause the video and figure that out however you know how. So whichever way you know how to do that, maybe you're doing Grandma and Grandpa's way, maybe you're doing your own strategy, that's what you're going to do, okay? And I'm going to just, so pause the video, figure it out. I'm going to do it in my head because I know that 200 subtract 50 would be 150. Subtract 6 more is going to be 144. You could stack them to figure that out too. 200 subtract 56. Okay, 200 subtract 50. I'm going to write this out. Is going to be 150. Okay, and then I have 6 more to subtract. Well, I know 10 subtract 6 is 4, so my next 10 is going to be 140, 144. But again, if you want to stack your numbers and do it Grandma and Grandpa's way, you can. Okay, I can't do that. That's going to be a 1. That is going to be a 1, a 10. Oh, I need to borrow. That's now a 9. Now this is 10 subtract 6 is 4. 9 subtract 5 is 4. 1 subtract 0 is 1. That's all. They're the same. Okay, let's move on to Tuesday, aka our second daily math for today, grade 5. So it's asking me to multiply 13.4, and I'm going to multiply it by 100. So to do that, all I do is I move my decimal place, right? And by 2 zeros. It's not something we've really got into yet, but I will help you right now and make you realize it's no scary thing. So all you do is I've got 13.4. Okay, first my decimal point is there. It's just like if this was 13 times 100, you would just add 2 zeros, right? And it would be 1300. What you're doing is the same thing here. My decimal point is here. And there's infinite zeros here. Your zeros just keep going on. My decimal point is there, and I'm just going to move it over 2 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and my decimal point is now going to be here. So it's 1,340. We are going to get into this in the coming weeks. Don't worry if that seemed confusing. But it's the same as just adding 2 zeros. You just move the decimal place 2 places. Round this number to the nearest 100. So again, we find our 100. It's a 7. We go to the next number. Is it more than 5 or less than 5? Less than 5. 50 or 50 would be 5 or more. But if it's 4 or lower, we stay at that hundreds. So it would be staying at the 700, 8,700, and that would be our number. Because remember, if this next number here, if our tens were 5 or higher, we would round up to 8,800. But it's lower, right? It's only 49, so we round down to the nearest 100, which is 700. 8,700. Okay, on to the next. We are going to do 698.2 in expanded form. Okay, so all we have to do, you're very good at expanded form because we practiced this many times. So 600 plus 90. I've done 690 plus 8 plus 0.2. You can still do that with decimals. Last year, the Bulls scored 210 points. This season, they have scored 178. How many fewer points did they score this year? Okay, so last season, they scored 210. This season, they scored 178. To figure out the difference, you just need to subtract, and that will tell you how many fewer points they scored. So I'm going to do it Grandma and Grandpa's way. I cannot subtract, so I'm going to borrow. Now I have 10 subtract 8 is 2. I cannot subtract, so I need to borrow 100. Now I have 10 tens. 10 subtract 7 is 3. And 1 subtract 1 is 0. So there was a difference of 32 points. A difference of 32 points that were scored. Okay. Now, let's go to the last part of our daily math, and then we're going to move on to a little bit of multiplication and division. So write 2,250 in words, 2250. So 2,000 200 50. You can check your spelling there. Okay, now we're going to switch over to the whiteboard view for the next 2 sections. We're going to be dividing some bigger numbers here, but like I said on your sheet, these numbers don't bite. It will be okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're doing how many times can 8 go into 1,592? So I start, how many times does 8 go into 1? 0 times. 8 times 0 is 0. The 1, I'm going to bring down this 5, so I'm working with 15. Now, how many times does 8 go into 15? It only goes in 1 time, believe it or not. 8 times 1 is 8. I'm going to subtract to find the difference, which is 7. Then I'm going to bring down this 9. And now you need to think, how many times does 8 go into 79? Well, I know 8 times 10 is 80, so I think it's going to go in 9 times. 8 times 9, so remember our trick for 9 times tables, guys. I'm just going to show you, because in case you've forgotten your facts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 2, 72. So it's 72. Now I'm going to subtract to find the difference, and 9 subtract 2 is 7, and 7 subtract 7 is 0. So I have 7 left over. I'm going to bring down this 2. Now, we just talked about 8 times 9 is 72. So 8 goes into 72 9 times. So do you see how you just did long division on a big number? I could give you an even bigger number. I actually challenge you to make up bigger numbers and practice, because it's kind of fun, guys. It's kind of fun. Okay, now let's move on. Next one, 4 goes into 3 0 times. 4 times 0 is 0. Okay, so I have the 3. I'm going to bring down the 4. 4 goes into 34. So think about your force facts, guys. It goes in 8 times. 4 times 8 is 32. Do you see why you need to practice those facts? Now I subtract. I have 2. I'm going to bring down the 8. Okay, 4 goes into 28. How many times does 4 go into 28? Think about it. Right, 7 times. 4 times 7 is 28. I have a difference of 0. Now I need to bring down the 8. Working with this 8, 4 goes into 8 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. The difference is 0, and it is good. Okay, so 4 goes into 3,488, 872 times. That's a lot of time. So how many times does 9 go into 1,314? I just rewrote this because I was reaching across the board and It wasn't easy to write neatly. So 9 goes into 13. How many times is 9? 9 goes into 1 0 times. 9 times 0 is 0. So I have a 1. We're going to bring down this 13. So 9 goes into 13 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. I'm going to subtract to find the difference. So 13 subtract 9 is 4. Okay, 13 subtract 9 is 4. Now 9 won't go into 4, so I need to bring down my 1. How many times does 9 go into 41? 4 times. 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, now I'm going to subtract 41, subtract 36. Think about it. It's going to be 5. There's a difference of 5. Now I bring down my 4. 9 goes into 54. Think about it. Think about your 9 stacks. It goes into 54 6 times. 9 times 6 is 54. Now I subtract for a difference. Oh no, you can't see my difference. For a difference of 0. So that means that I've completed my long division for today. These big numbers didn't scare you. You've got this. You just do the same steps. It's just a little bit of a longer process. Okay, so now we're going to do our multiplication. So I am going to use a few different strategies for these. The first one, 43 times 19, I'm going to use box window. So, draw my box window, 43 times 19. So, 40 times 10, 4 times 1 is 4, and we're going to have how many zeros? 2 zeros. 400. 9 times 40, so 9 times 4 is 36. And we're going to have 1 0. Okay. Now, 10 times 3 is 30. And 9 times 3 is 27. Now, to get my final product, I add them all up. So 400. And when I write them out, I want to make sure they're stacked nice and neatly so that I can add them easily. Okay, so 7, 6 and 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, because I had 3 down here. Now 4 and 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 3 more is 8. I say 4 and 4 because I just took this 1 and I added it to the 4, or to the 3, so I had 2 groups of 4. Either way, 817. 817. All right, our next one I am going to use partial products for. So box window is perfectly acceptable if that helps you organize your thoughts. I'm going to do partial products for the next 3 because partial products, once you practice it, is almost as easy as box window. Not easy, almost as easy to understand in your head. Keep your numbers straight. So 84 times 15. Okay, so remember when I'm doing this strategy, I just need to be multiplying this by this and this, and this by this and this. Now that sounds confusing, but I just said it was easy. But let's do it. So first we start with our ones. 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, now I'm going to do my tens. 5 times 80. Remember, it's 80. 5 times 80. 5 times 8. Think about what 5 times 8 is. Yes, 5 times 8 is 40. So I write 40. Okay, my next one. 10 times 4 is also 40. And then 10 times 80, so just put a 0 there because you're working in the tens. All right, now 10 times 8 is going to be 80. So because it's actually 10 times 80 or 10 times 8, you're going to get the same. If you just add the 0 and do 10 times 8, that works too. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Boop. 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. Now, 1,260. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more of these to practice. So if you went, oh, I don't know about that, let's practice again, okay? Gonna make this next one. And again, if you want to use box window, because that makes more sense for you, go for it, my dear. You do you. In the grade 5 curriculum, you are welcome to pick your strategy, but it is helpful to be aware of all the strategies. So if you're using box window, maybe just pay attention to how I would do partial products. Oh, we've already done that one, Mrs. Oaks. Pay attention to how that I'm going to work the partial products, because that will make it a little easier on you to understand the other strategies. Partial products is like, it's a good way to understand the other strategies. Okay, so, and by other strategies, I mean Grandma and Grandpa's way. So I'm going to start this. I want to do my 4 times 7 and 4 times 70 to start. So 4 times 7. So I'm going to think of my 4 times tables. 4 times 7 is 28. Now 4 times 70, I just put a 0, and then I do 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, those ones are done. Now I'm moving on to 30. So everything that I'm multiplying here is by 30, not by 3. I know that's a little confusing sometimes. 30 times 7. Well, what's 3 times 7? 3 times 7 is 21. Put a 0 on the end of that. So put a 0 and then write 21. Okay, for my next one, 30 times 70. Now remember, if you were doing box window, you would see those zeros. 30 times 70. So 3 times 7 is 21, and there's going to be 2 zeros on the end. So put your zeros. 21. Now let's add them all together. I'm going to have to creak. Put that one down a bit. Okay, 8, 0, 0, 0 is 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 more is 11. 2 plus 2 is 4. 5, 6, and 2. So 2,618. Again, if you're using a different strategy and you're getting the correct answer, then you are doing your job, okay? We can use whichever strategy we like in grade 5. It's just important to understand a little bit how the other strategies work. You want to know those strategies. Okay, my last one, and now this one is a big number. And I'm going to use partial products to show you how to do it. So 986, and we're going to multiply by 48. Okay, and don't panic. All this means is you have one extra step here. So you're going to go 8 times 6, 8 times 80, and 8 times 900. Then you're going to go 4 times 6, and 4 times 80, and 4 times 900. Those little lines are supposed to make it easier to understand, but I don't really know if they do. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's start with the ones. So multiplying by 8. 8 times 6. So think 8 times 6 is 48. Okay, now I go to my next one. 8 times 80. Okay, I'm going to put my 0 there because I know I'm doing times 80. 8 times 80. 8 times 8 is 64. So it's 640. Now, 8 times 900. Let's just put the zeros there because we know we're working with hundreds. 8 times 9. What's 8 times 9? You are correct if you said 72. Okay, so 8 times 9 is 72. I just wanted to show you. We've done these ones. We've multiplied by 8. We've done that. Now we have to multiply by 4. Okay, so let's do multiplying by 4. Sorry, 4D. I'm misspeaking a lot today. I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're doing 40 times 6. So I'm going to put my 0 there. 40 times 6. 40 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, now I'm doing 40 times 80. So I'm going to have those 2 zeros there. 4 times 8. Think about it. 4 times 8 is 32. Now, the next one, I'm doing 40 times 900. So I'm going to put, if I was to write this out for box window, how many zeros are we working with here? Right, 3 zeros. Oh, that's a big number because we haven't even multiplied yet. Now you can go 4 times 9. What's 4 times 9? You're right, 36. Okay, so this strategy might be a little confusing, but you're doing the same thing. So what I've done, first I multiplied by 8. I'm going to pick a different color. Then I multiplied by, my board's a mess, I multiplied by 40. Okay, so this is by 8 and this is by 40. Now I need to add all of those numbers together to get my total and my final answer of my giant multiplication question. You basically did 1,000 times 50. Think about it. Look, almost 1,000, almost 50. So it's going to be a big number. Okay. So I'm going to go 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 more is 12. And again, if you want to break this up and do this in smaller groups, please do. Okay, and I'm going to have a 1 up there. So 6 and 2 is 8, plus 1 more is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. And again, this is just partial products, but with a little bit extra because we have extra numbers. Okay, now I've lost my space. Okay. So we have 7, and 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. Okay, and then put those two together, we have a 4. So 1 and 3 is 4. 47,328. If you're still awake, congratulations, you made it to the end of this very long partial products. Now next time I'm going to probably show you Grandma and Grandpa's way, now that you understand that you're just doing each step, right? We're just doing it, we're just breaking down that number. But because there are hundreds, tens, and ones, we have 3 numbers to multiply for each, the 8 and the 40. And then so that's 6 altogether, 6 products to add up. Whew! You deserve a break today. All right, we are going to work on these fraction pages together. So this one, I believe, is your next one, and it's called the Fraction Challenge. So all you have to do is fill in the blank spaces on the chart below. So you're going to write the fraction, draw a picture, and write it on the number line. So we have a fraction picture to go for here. So here I know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces on top. So 4/6 is our number. And then we just have to try and divide our number line into 6 equal pieces. So this is 4. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do that. We need to make 5 dots on our line. So 1 in the middle, 2. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's about equal. And all we have to do is put a star at 4/6. So 1, 2, 3, 4/6. And I just put a star right there. Okay, so that is my 4/6. Now my next one is 2/5. So I'm going to draw a chocolate bar. And I'm going to break it into 5 pieces. I just draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to color in 2 of them. All right, now the next thing that I have to do is I have to mark up this line to make 5 groups or like fifths. So I need 4 dots on my line, or 4 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I tried to make them equal. And then I have to mark the second one because it's 2/5. So I count 1, 2, the second line on my number line, 2/5. I'm 2/5 of the way there. Now this one is already marked. Our number line is already marked for us. And how many pieces are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces all together. And they have marked the 1, 2, the second one. So we're the second one out of 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 2/4. Or, to draw my picture, and your pictures could probably be better than mine, and that's cool. I draw 4 pieces and I shade in 2. Okay, my next one here, it's asking me to do this one, and I have 6 pieces and they've shaded 3. So 6 is my bottom number, And 1, 2, 3 is my top number. Now I'm going to I have to break my number line into 6 pieces. So remember, that means I did that up top. It means I need about 5, I need 5 lines. So I'm gonna space them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a little wonky, but it's close enough. Now, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and I need to mark the third one. 1, 2, 3, because it's 3 out of 6. Okay, now the next one is 1/3. So looking here, I'm gonna make a circle again, because I like dividing circles into 3 parts, but you could make a chocolate bar or a different thing. So there's my circle, and I have one of them, 3 pieces, and one is shaded. Now I have to make this into thirds. So I have 1, 2, 3 pieces, and my first third is where I'm marking my star, 1/3. There you go. Okay, so next I'm going to go through here, and I'm gonna mark, how many pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. So 9 is my bottom number, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one is marked. So I have 7/9. And for this one, I'm just gonna draw dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to shade in 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now I have 2 left over. So they're not shaded. So again, I've written my fraction, I've drawn my fraction, and it's already marked on the number line. Last one for this page, guys. You might want to pause this video and do it in 2 parts, because it's a long one today. So 1/2. I have 2 pieces. I shaded 1, and I'm gonna mark halfway in between my 0 and my 1, and then I'm just gonna mark it with a star. Easy peasy. All right, let's move on to representing the number. So it says each space on the number line represents a number. Fractions are numbers too. Sorry, hard to read. For each tick on the number line, shade the fraction that it represents. So all we have to do is go through here. So this is 0, there'd be none shaded. 1, 2, 3. So to make it a little easier for you, I am going to write, so we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. So this is 1/3. This is 2/3. And this is, 1 is your whole, so you're gonna shade it all in. It's like 3/3. Okay, so 1, 2, and this one you're gonna shade the whole thing. Do you see how that works? Okay, so now this one we have groups of 4. So this is 1/4. This is 2/4, not groups of 4, sorry, they're split into 4. This is 3/4, and this is 1 or 4/4. Now for the 0, we don't shade in anything, but for this one, 1, and then we're gonna do 2/4, 3/4, and then the whole 4/4. I almost said 5/4. That would be an improper fraction. Okay, so this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5, which is the same as saying 1 whole, okay, because you have the whole thing. Now let's color them in. 1/5, 1, 2/5, 1, 2, 3/5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4/5, and this one, whole thing. Whole circle. All right, on to the next one. Now this one, it's got lots. So again, this is the same length of line, it's just broken into smaller and smaller pieces. So this line is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So I would have, this is the first 6th, second 6th, third 6th, 4th, 6th, 5th, 6th, and then 6, 6, which would be the same as 1 whole. So the first one I shade in 1, the second one I shade in 2, the third one halfway there I'm going to shade in 3, or it's the same as half. The next one I'm going to shade in 4, and then 5, and then this one here I'm going to shade in the whole thing. Okay. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are sevenths. So 1 7th, 2 7ths, 3 7ths, 4 7ths, 5 7ths, 6 7ths, and 7 7ths, which would be a whole. Now 1 over 7, 1 7th. Then we have 2 7ths. 1, 2, 3 7ths. 1, 2, 3, 4 7ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7ths. And then this one I'm going to shade in all 7, which means I'm shading in the whole thing, the whole number. Okay, so I hope this helped a bit. We are going to continue to work on this concept as we move towards learning about decimals. Okay, so nothing to be worried about. We'll do it a step at a time.